Welcome to London.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for bringing How to Train Your Dragon to the big screen in an entirely new format. As a big fan of the original trilogy, I was 12 at the time the first one came out. Seeing it in this new way is so amazing, and I can't wait for everyone to watch it.
Great, and you're also the demographic I'm most curious about. You know, those who had seen it, and if it's part of their childhood, then they're going to be extra judgmental of this version. So if we pass the test, then I feel good.
Well, that was actually one of my questions. Is this movie is for an entire new generation of fans that didn't grow up watching the original ones. But there are so many messages in the original trilogy. I mean, Hiccup kind of inspired me a little bit to embrace all of this sort of thing. What sort of message or thing do you want these new fans to walk away from seeing this adaptation?
Well, a lot of it, the core is exactly that. It's still in place. Hiccup is a celebration of the outsider, of the misfits, because he can endure mockery and ridicule and still sort of stay true to himself and follow his convictions. And that's the kind of hero that a lot of us can get behind. And then the story is, it transports you. It's full of wonder, and I think it's a world that hopefully the audience wants to spend more time in. And we wanted to do it in such a way that it brings it even closer to reality. Yeah. Like the dragons feel real, the land feels real. It's based on a real place. And so those were all opportunities. I remember having the conversation with John Powell, our composer, and I called him. He was the first phone call I made, and I said, talk me out of this if it's a bad idea. And he said, no, I think that our fans have grown up, and for those who are attached to the story, it's like a nostalgic hug, but also it's going to open it up to a whole lot of people who've never seen the film, be they young or old. And so it felt like a worthy, he said if we do it with love and respect, it's going to be a worthwhile endeavor.
It's so faithful to your original kind of movie and to the core of it as well. But I love that there are some really fun changes in there. Beginning this process, what was it like trying to find that balance between fidelity and also fresh?
Yeah, it started with a conversation with Universal, and I said, so are we talking about, another story inspired by How to Train Your Dragon, or is it closer to Cressida Cowell's books, or is it a different timeline? And they said, no, we want that story, but we want it with embellishments. You can open up the mythology, we can get into the characters a little bit more, we can delve into the experiential quality of it and make it visceral and lean into all those live action tools. So that's where we put our efforts, is just like, how did this tribe come to be? What are they made up of? What was the backstory of that? Characters like Astrid, who were a bit underdeveloped, a little bit underserved just due to time in the animated movie. We could get more into, understanding her and how she's put so much effort into attaining the status she has, and how she's willing to sacrifice that for Hiccup's cause later in the movie, and just deepen the arc of the father and the son, and make it feel real, for all of those people.
It still hits equally as hard, the whole father-son thing. It's still still to the even
I
though
think
I've
even
seen
more
it.
so.
Yeah,
because there's something about putting a camera on Mason Thames, listening to his father talking to the whole tribe about, Hiccup being Hiccup, and everyone's laughing, but you're on Mason's face, and you feel the pain of that.
Yeah.
It goes to a different dimension for me. Like, it actually made me cry when we were filming it.
I still remember welling up during, Test Drive. There are scenes like Test Drive, the romantic flight, the forbidden friendship, all imbued with John Powell's score. But what is it that you think makes these particular scenes so special to fans?
I think we realized as we concluded the animated trilogy and the TV series and everything, those three scenes were so iconic that as we were planning this live action version, we said, let's try to do those almost shot for shot, as close as we can, within the context of this, so that it feels like an homage to the fandom and to those original key scenes that seem to define what How to Train Your Dragon is. And it allowed us to kind of go off in different directions and make a few omissions and a few additions around it. But those scenes we wanted to be really strong and intact.
Talking about, the dragons, Toothless, and what was it like bringing Toothless and all the other dragons from the animated realm to the live action, what challenges did you face making them actually feel and look real?
Yeah, I mean, on one side, we definitely, we were working backward. We were saying, like, okay, if the dragons from the animated movies are caricatured and exaggerated and stylized, what did the real animals look like that inspired them? And so it allowed us to lean into the animal references, crocodiles and walrus and like tropical birds and a black panther for Toothless. But we also wanted to make sure we didn't lose any personality. And so in shaping Toothless, for example, we found that, you know, if we tried to make his eyes more naturalistic and smaller, or a smaller mouth, or give him more natural proportions, we were losing the personality. And so we tried to find this balance where, you know, there's rippling muscle and iridescent scales and a strong skeleton and cat-like movement, but the face is still there. You know,
still there,
the expressiveness is still there.
Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching, Super Friends. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to hit the subscribe button just down below and hit the bell so that you can get notified whenever we release brand new videos. In fact, there's 2 more waiting for you to watch right here below. So what are you waiting for? Why not click play?